Right then, as always, this preview is brought to you by our friends at Parimatch UK. If you're interested in that bet, it'll be on later in the video. If you want to check out exactly when that is or when anything else is coming up in this video, then check out the chapters below. Right then, to Champions League and Copenhagen, seeking to right what has been very, very wrong for us in the Champions League. We welcome Danish giants Copenhagen to Old Trafford for Tuesday night's Group A encounter. We are still without a single point in the Champions League, suffering painful losses to both Galatasaray and Bayern Munich, and we are bottom of the group. Make no bones about it, United really pretty much now need to go and win every game remaining in the group. There might be a chance that we can win every game apart from Bayern Munich, but there's a good chance that we're probably going to require to win every single game. Now, we've restored a little bit of pride with back-to-back Premier League wins, but Brentford and Sheffield United are not Champions League level competition, and we are definitely going to require to be better. Now, let's have a look at Copenhagen. Let's start with their starting 11. This is how I expect them to line up. And we're going to be able to look at their intriguing tactics this season. I think it's really important to note Niestrup's formation choice in games. Now, during his stint as a number 2 to Thorup in the previous campaign, Copenhagen rotated through a number of formations. The most prominent structure was 4-4-2 and 4-2-3-1, which are almost one and the same in the way that they deployed them. However, Thorup had no qualms about using a shape that the team weren't over familiar with, and whether that was a 3-5-2 or a 4-2-2. But under Niestrup, they seem to have settled on the almost ubiquitous 4-3-3. One of the most intriguing elements of Copenhagen's tactical setup under Niestrup is their pressing. There is nothing really unconventional about how Copenhagen press. This isn't Leeds United 2020. Their press is still high and effective and aggressive, and they are instructed to drop off initially, almost to lull you into thinking they're going to hit you with a mid-block print, maybe even a low block. But the team defends mid to high instead of really going a strong direct press right from the off. And the difference between the two is that they're not just going to immediately start pressing you all over the pitch. The first line sinks back. It allows the opposition to sort of step up with it. And then that first line of pressure practically skips the opposition's build-up phase, positions themselves to start roughly around the start of that middle third of the pitch, the edge of the opponent's third. So it brings a line out. So they're not going to pin you back into your box. Think how Brighton want to be pressed, right? The way Brighton want to press you is Brighton will line up with 2 or 3 centre-halves, no higher than the 6-yard box. They will position a couple of midfielders either side of the D, giving them essentially 6 players that they can ping in a load of passes, and they've got loads of different angles in that area. And they're looking to draw 2, 3, 4 players into the box to skip round them, creating space in midfield behind. That's what they're wanting to do. Copenhagen don't do that. They let you have the ball there because you can't they can't beat that first 3 or 4 man press if that first 3 or 4 man press is not there. If that 3 or 4 man press is further back, it clogs up the centre of the pitch, making it harder for you to fire balls into that sort of zone. So that's why they drop off initially, and that's why they look to sort of have a second line that they start from. Once the sort of mid-high block is successful and the ball starts to get played backwards, that's when Copenhagen come in. Now, a ball being played backwards, bad touch, flat pass, those are sorts of things that are very obvious pressing triggers. And as soon as there is a ball played backwards, so here's what happens, right? Let's say Copenhagen will line up, they will sink off, the opposition will have the ball, and they'll go, oh shit, no one's pressing us. Then they'll start to move the ball side to side. And after you've gone side to side enough, you're going to have to either go forwards or backwards. Inevitably, that ball's going to go backwards because they've already cut off the passing lanes for you to pass the ball forward. And then as soon as that ball goes backwards, they are on you and they are going to press. And they step up as a unit. They introduce a lot more intensity. And that's when they're looking to regain possession very, very high up the pitch. Nystrup instructs the players to cut off access through the centre of the pitch and then force them to try and play wide where it's uncomfortable, where the touchline can be used as an extra defender to try and squeeze you. It's quite impressive, and it's something that United are definitely going to have to look out for. And when you look back to how we played out and how long you saw Maguire having the ball, being a little bit ponderous in possession, he will be the one that they look at and go, he's not the most comfortable in possession, and he will turn and probably put someone else under pressure. So watch out for that Tuesday night, because I think you will see that a hell of a lot. Offensively, Copenhagen build-up play is actually very, very vertical. And that doesn't mean Nystrup instructs the backline and goalkeeper to just kick it long. They're actually very good at baiting the opposition into pressing them in the final third and then playing it through the lines. They're good at breaking lines, and they will go through rather than over. And they're not stalling on the ball either. In the sense they're a bit different to what De Zerbi's Brighton do. Well, they'll wait for you to sort of commit, and then they'll play it around you. That doesn't really happen. Copenhagen will wait for passing lanes to open up behind the opposition midfield and try and reach the 4 players that are higher up the pitch. It's not long balls, it's long passes. If that, it's a long ball to me is something that you're putting into an area in the hope of it being a 50-50. A long pass might be a slightly longer pass, but it's got an intended recipient. And I think that's the difference with these sorts of things. When looking to break down an opposition defensive block, the way they're going to do it is to have numerical superiority in the back line. So you're going to see people getting shoved in. So they're going to try and overload 5v4. They're going to have at least 3 players in between the lines. Those people are going to occupy each channel in the opponent's defense. Typically, they'll have 5 players on the last line to create that 5v4. And that usually means someone in the midfield for the opposition is going to have to get called back. So you'll see this happen a lot where people will push fullbacks forward. It's 4-3-3 formation. So you're going to have the wingers, you're going to have the striker, and then you'll either have the fullbacks push on forward to create a 5, or you will see the 2 attacking midfielders underlap, leaving the wingers wide to create a 5v4. The opposition will counteract that, or should counteract that, by dropping either 1 or 2 of their 6s in to pick up those spare runners and restore the +1. What that does is clog up that line, but then free up and open up and create a lot of space for people in between the defence and the attack. So midfield then becomes a big free area for them where they're able to operate. I think the star man is going to be Badigi, and that's 17-year-old, and he is a budding future star. Real good eye for goal, great left foot, exceptional dribbler. He's a little bit of, you get a little bit of Neto and a little bit of Odegaard in him. A good performance against United at Old Trafford potentially could put the world on notice. In terms of Manchester United starting 11, then this is how I am going. I am going with Dalot, Varane, Maguire, and Lindelof at left back. Not my choice, but it seems to be Erik ten Hag's choice. I think it will be Amrabat and Eriksen, because I think what we saw against Sheffield United was a complete lack of control from United, and I think we really need to establish some control in this game and stop it being vertical, because Copenhagen are very good at that. I'm going to say Mount for the press. Bruno and Rashford. I think Rashford probably does deserve dropping, but I don't think Garnacho's the one to sit him out just yet. And even though I've selected Mount, we know the love that Ten Hag seemingly has for Antony, so realistically it'll probably be Antony. But what it does represent is that there are options. Wouldn't surprise me if Mount alongside Amrabat was the move in this game. Also wouldn't surprise me if McTominay played, but I wouldn't want to see that. And of course, Rasmus Højlund up front, who is, for me, Manchester United's match winner. Copenhagen struggle with physical forwards. Rasmus Højlund is a physical forward. He's going to get space to work with due to the Copenhagen press and the style that they're going to try and put on him. You're going to need his hold-up ability and channel running when United need to go a little bit more vertical, which they will at times. And that might be a way that United try and play over the sort of mid to high block that you're going to see from Copenhagen. He is in good form. He does have a taste for goals in the Champions League. He is the top scorer in the competition. So I think he's probably going to get on the score sheet again, and he'll certainly be a big reason why Manchester United are going to win this game. Now, as I said at the top of the show, this preview and all of them are brought to you by Parimatch UK, and I have got another exclusive bet boost that you just can't get anywhere else in the game. And the bet for this Champions League game is as follows. I am going Manchester United to win 2-1. Now, that's been boosted from 7-1 to 9-1, and I think that is excellent odds. Why am I going for 2-1? Well, have you seen us play recently? That's about as comfortable as I'm expecting United are able to get a result at the moment. We're so disjointed, so poor that I think, yeah, I'm confident we can win. I am not confident it'll be like 3-4, 5-1 or even 2-1, 9-1. Great odds for that, I think. If you want to get involved by clicking the link in the description. And as always, prices are subject to fluctuation and availability. You need to be 18 plus to participate. And we know that football and certainly Manchester United at the moment are completely unpredictable. So it's just a little bit of fun to enhance your enjoyment of the game. It's certainly not a promise of winning. For help or more information on responsible gaming, please visit www.begambleaware.org. Once again, this bet is exclusive to me and Parimatch UK. Click the link below to get involved, and if not, let me know what bets you're having or what score prediction you're going for in the comments below. And then how do we win this game? Very, very straightforward. Two things United need to do to be successful in this game. The first one is beware of the wide overloads. Manchester United forward line has a habit of cheating a little bit on defensive duties, especially Marcus. I think he's probably to order, but it's a fact. So Copenhagen score a lot of goals because they're able to get 2v1 on either a fullback or one of the centre halves because they do overload 5v4 typically when it gets to that back line. The wide men are dangerous. They've got several players out there and they commit a lot of bodies forward. The fullbacks overlap, the wide men can invert. They've got ways of putting bodies into the back line. So you've got to really watch out for that, and it's a weakness that United have had. It does mean that you can hit them on the break because they're not able to transition to the sort of tenacity and quality that a Premier League team will be able to. So I do expect them to be able to be caught on the counter. And then secondly, you've got to beat the press. They will press and they will look to try and press us high. That's where we've got to get ball players involved. And that is why I went with Eriksen and Amrabat, because I think if those two guys can get deep, offer options, be available for a pass, United are capable of controlling this game with the ball, and we are capable of playing through this Copenhagen team press. If we lose the ball in deep areas, Copenhagen will have enough manpower and quality to cause us problems in those areas. If we can get on the ball, get on the half turn, move the ball up through the pitch quickly before they're able to get back and recover, United will open them up. And you could score a few goals, but I think confidence is shaky from us at the moment, so I'm not expecting loads. That's how I see it going. You guys let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.